You can't own your value and beg for it at the same time. I want you to ask for that raise or compensation from a space of power, not permission. So here are 4 challenges that will have you going from hesitation to compensation. The ask is sacred. Whatever you're asking for, I want you to understand that's sacred ground. I want you to stop walking around as if you have to make it soft and palatable. Of course, you want to think it through. Of course, you want to really understand the other person's perspective, but you have to be solid. You have to understand that you deserve whatever it is that you're asking for. And if you've been following along, we're not saying you got to railroad people or act as though other people don't matter. What I want you to understand is that you have power. I want you to understand that you have presence, and I want you to understand that you have value. Begging for something is not the right mentality because once you start seeing their face or you feel their energy, and it might be something that you're not used to, or you've conditioned or programmed your mind to believe you have to shrink because people are looking at you a certain way, or they hesitate, or they pause. I don't want you to fold. I want you to really think about what it is that you want, what you're asking for, and that you are walking into a sacred space. How do you respond? How do you act when you walk into a sacred space? Usually, you know that there's a formality. There's some things that you have to do in preparation for that. And that's exactly what I want you to do. Because if you're anything like me, you might have a difficult time asking for what it is that you want for yourself. Now, for anyone else, for your company, for someone else, you can shine because you have no problem understanding the value that other people have. So you can negotiate, you'll stay up late, you'll do the extra hours, the extra reps for other people, but you won't do it for yourself. And today's the day that I want you to say, I'm going to do that for myself. How do I know this? Why am I so passionate about this? Because I know this for myself. When I started off as an entrepreneur, I knew that my speaking engagements, this was the early days, that I was worth $5,000. Now I'm worth much more. I understand my worth. My speaking engagements go for 20,000, 10,000, right? But 5,000 is where I started. And if someone looked at me or hesitated when I was telling them what that original price was, I would immediately say, before they even had a chance to say anything, I would say, but oh, if that doesn't work for you, that's no problem. I'll go ahead and reduce it by 2,000, 1,000, whatever it is. I needed to know that I needed to value myself and realize I was worthy, right? Because you can't beg for something and know your worth at the same time. I want you to go from permission to power. That's what I want you to do. So, here are the things that I want you to think about. Now, you're getting a special treat because this is exclusively for our Rise 53 Inner Circle, but we're giving you a sneak peek because we value you as our YouTube subscribers. And for those of you who are watching us on social media, we want to give you a little taste of what it is that our individuals are working for in our Rise 53 Inner Circle. So, we've created this negotiation challenge and we want to give you the steps that we have outlined in it, which is going to help you be able to ask for this, whatever it is that you want, and understand the sacred qualities of it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to look here at my negotiation challenge. Okay, first thing, and I'm going to put my glasses on. Get clear on what you want. Name the one thing it is that you want. No fluff, no extras, right? Identify who holds the power to say yes, list the barriers, and declare, I am worth the ask. So, the first thing you have to do is get clear because often we don't really get clear on the one thing. We have 4, 5, 6 other things going on in our heads. And so we start talking about all of these things that don't matter. This is where you have got to get really, really clear. The second thing is I want you to use AI, use artificial intelligence to formulate the ask. This is where AI comes in because all of us should be utilizing it for our good, right? So do not hold back here. Use AI tools to research the market data, the timing, and the trends. Draft your ask using yes formula, right? Here's our yes formula: your value plus the evidence plus specificity. Value plus evidence plus specificity. That's what we call the yes formula, right? When you get clear on that, who's going to tell you no? And you certainly should not be saying no to yourself. Then we want you to cut the fluff, make it clear, concise, and confident, and practice your ask out loud until it feels like power. Right? I do this so much. This is something that I know I'm very good at. Now, granted, I've been doing negotiation for a long, long time. I went to Harvard negotiation school. Why? Because I wanted to learn how to be a really good negotiator. And if I go back to step one, which I need to reread this for you, I want to go back to step one because it says that you want to identify the belief shift you need to make to move forward. I believe that we all need what's called a belief shift. Belief shift, shifting your mind to understand that you believe in yourself to ask for this. Okay. So that was me just kind of bouncing back to step one. Now go to step two. Now let's go to step three. Practice the conversation. Now, for us, we're going to practice the conversation inside our Rise 53 inner circle. For you, I want you to practice the conversation with a colleague, practice the conversation with someone that you trust. And if you want to, you can practice the conversation with me. If you want to reach out to us and you say that you are going through this negotiation challenge and you want to be able to talk to me and you show that you have a one thing, I want you to be able to produce the evidence, the yes formula that you've done this, then let's set up a 30-minute conversation. We'll go ahead and put the link here in this video for you to be able to set up a time for you to be able to practice what it is that you're asking for with me. That's a special offer because I want you to understand that you've got to practice the conversation. So, one things you're going to be doing when you're practicing the conversation is prepare for the pushback without shrinking, pleasing, or apologizing. Now, when you practice with me, I'm going to be putting you in the hot seat and I'm going to be asking you the questions that I know you're going to get pushback on, right? Because this is what I'm really, really good at. Why am I really good at this? Because when I was in law school, I actually was on the moot court team. Moot, MOOT, moot court. So what we did when I was in law school and I was in moot court, we were learning about advocacy and appellate advocacy, and we were being asked all types of questions. We also learned this in negotiation school, and this is what I did on my job for several years, knowing how to move around a no. And so this is something that you have to practice. You have to know this is a skill that you need to sharpen. And I'm willing to help you sharpen that. And you need to be around skilled practitioners that can help you sharpen this. And this will get you good at anything. So the last thing I want to say on this third one is record yourself. This is, I'm sitting here in this room right now recording myself. It's so critical for you to get good at communication. So record yourself and see where you hesitate. See where you keep saying, see where you keep pausing or your facial expression starts to change. I have my assistants when it comes to me asking for certain kinds of things. They see when I pause, they see when I get quiet, and they say, "Hey, Diana, just want to let you know your face kind of dimmed a little bit there." You got to have people like that in your corner. Okay. That's step three. Step four, schedule the meeting and draft the follow up, right? This is so critical because a lot of people don't follow through. They go to ChatGPT, they go to Gemini, they go to their artificial intelligence, they get everything that they need, and guess where it sits? Right there. They never send the email, they never do the practicing, they never go do the hard thing. And this is where you need likely assistance to help you move forward. You need accountability, right? So lock in the meeting, set the date, don't delay. I would go ahead and set the meeting now. What is that like? It's kind of like, when people create a movie, they create a movie and then they create the preview. They don't even finish their movie. They create the preview and they send it out, right? And they put a date. Why? Because that makes them get that daggone movie done. And that's what I want you to do is I want you to go set that date. I want you to lock it in with your boss and get it done. Okay. All right. And this is the other thing that I want you to do. I want you to create the thank you follow up as if it's already so. Even if it's a no, I want you to write it all down. I don't want you to write it down if it's a no. I want you to, I mean, it's good to understand what you're going to do if it is a no, but I want you to write it all down. I want you to declare it as if it is already so. Then I want you to reflect on it. What did you ask for? What did you get? What's next? These are the kinds of things that I want you to think about as you're going through with the meeting, as you're doing the follow up. All of this follows this beautiful symphony of you doing your negotiation and asking for what it is you're worth. Celebrate the boldness and that you did the daggone thing. You have got to understand how beautiful that is in honoring yourself and being sacred. This negotiation challenge is the truth. We are all about action. We are all about making certain that we are going after what it is that we want. And I want you to understand that you can do this. This takes more than you sitting in front of a computer and asking your ChatGPT or AI function to do it for you. You got to follow up. Now, as I said to you, I'm happy for you to be able to follow up with me, to set time with me, to be able to go through these things. Now, only if you've done the work. If you did step one and you said step two and you need some help and you need someone to ask you some questions in the hot seat, I'm going to help you. And I have results, right? I have receipts. So I want to be able to help you get there. Does this make sense to you? All right. Well, let's go for it. Let's get it done. Let's get the results that we want. And I will see you in the next video. And if you dare follow up with me, I'm ready for you. Let's go. Let's go after that, sis.